I think there's going to be an uptick in deportation cases. There's already a huge backlog of deportation cases, but because we know that this current administration is really laser focused on quote unquote mass deportations, guess what? The number of individuals who are going to be placed into deportation is gonna increase, unfortunately. So, when I was first starting out in immigration law, a lot of my cases were actually deportation. It was because the firms where I worked, that was a primary area of focus. So I kind of had to learn how to represent clients in deportation proceedings. And now this skill set, 20 years later, is proving to be very helpful to me. I have two deportation cases coming up in the next few weeks, which I've been spending a lot of my time and energy on. Um, One of them has been my client for the last 7 years, and his deportation case is still going on, hasn't been finished yet. It's survived the pandemic. It was originally assigned to one immigration judge, and then now he's been assigned to another immigration judge. So if you have a deportation case, know that it's going to be subject to a lot of fluctuations, including change in your judge, possibly, as we see more mass firings going on. And also unexpected schedule changes. So something else that happened with COVID is immigration court completely stopped sending out notices of court hearings to clients and their lawyers. So you have to be on top of your court case. You have to check the onus or the burden is now on you or your lawyer to know when your court date is, because it'd be canceled, it could be rescheduled, it could be assigned to a new judge. You just have to basically be on top of it to make sure that you don't miss a hearing. Because if you miss a court hearing, immigration can order you deported in your absence. That's a huge risk nowadays, especially now that the court no longer sends out hearing notices. So for my client that has an upcoming final merits hearing in his case, we now have a new judge, and this is going to be, I can't even keep track what number hearing we are on right now. And in the span of these few years, his application for relief from deportation has also changed. So now we are going forward with asylum. And I'm hopeful that it will be approved. He's from a country where there is a lot of repression of human rights. Um, so I think that we are able to demonstrate that there is a subjective and an objective fear of being persecuted if he had to go back to his home country. Um, I've looked up the reputation of the new judge so far. My research has been positive, so that's something we have going for us. But I don't know who the trial attorney is. I don't know who DHS counsel is, and sometimes that can have a huge effect also on the outcome of a deportation case. Are they going to be fair, or are they going to be looking for any reason to prosecute a client, right? If the judge grants the asylum, will Homeland Security file an appeal of the immigration judge's grant to the Board of Immigration Appeals? All of these are unknowns, and that's one of the reasons why it makes working on deportation cases really stressful. The other deportation case that I have coming up, it's a client who has been put into deportation proceedings because their previous applications to remove the conditions on their residence card was denied by immigration. Um, the reason for denial It seems that immigration, USCIS made mistakes. They didn't send out critical correspondence to the client to the correct address. So even though my client updated immigration about their change of address, USCIS kept sending mail to the old address, which my client never received. So, for example, if they were scheduled for an interview at USCIS, they never knew about it. And because they did not show up, immigration then denied the application for failure to appear. So, this is the unfortunate result, is that because of USCIS's clerical error in sending mail to the wrong address, the applications were then denied, which then led to immigration then placing the client into deportation proceedings. Hopefully, we'll be able to hash it out. I also did research on the immigration judge who's been assigned to this case. They also have a pretty good reputation. The only unknown is Homeland Security Counsel, who is a trial attorney that will be present at the hearing. We don't know. And even if we do know, most of the time when the private bar reaches out to Homeland Security, it's kind of not that easy to get in touch with government counsel and try to work out some kind of a resolution. So in my experience, we're not that successful in getting government counsel to let us know where they stand on the case. Are they willing to concede anything? So oftentimes we don't know until the actual hearing itself what position DHS is taking on the case. So that's been on my plate for a while. I'm hoping that both of them will be favorably resolved, but with deportation cases, they can take a long time to end, right? So, I have clients who have been in deportation proceedings for years and years and years before they finally are able to get to the final merits and have their application for relief decided on. So to be continued.